Welcome, everyone. It's really a pleasure to introduce a little bit of what we have been doing at Sportradar and how we have been reimagining fan engagement. And actually, I added on purpose with artificial intelligence because everything in this presentation that I will show, from the use case and where it led to, has been heavily driven with the help of this technology. And it's making me very excited and wanting to wake up every morning and do more great things. Just a little bit about myself. So as Alex said, my name is Luka. I don't live on a second floor, but I am from Vienna currently. And for the last 6-7 years, I have been heavily invested in computer vision at Sportradar, building this capability. And happy to say that right now, we really brought it to the point where it's delivering some great value for a lot of stakeholders. Also, you should visit us at our stand in Innovation Lab, where we are actually showcasing also what I will show you here. You will see how it actually looks in real time and that it is actually a real thing. But yeah, so I don't know if the thingy works. Guys, boop. Technology. I don't know. Doesn't seem to be working. Oh, there we go. Okay, so to start with, a little bit, the first thing before we go into the use case or the main topic of this masterclass, it's all about data revolution. I like to say maybe 10 years, 15 years ago, fans were a bit different. They were happy with relatively basic stats, so you'd see something like pretty classic types of data, and this has changed over time. It's not anymore enough to be engaged with that level of data. It doesn't give you the insight that explains the game. Also, it's difficult to differentiate if everyone has these basic statistics. And there were sports that definitely led the way, and you could see early on data starting to become really important in building the narrative, in building the engagement, in building the stories around broadcasts. And actually, this is starting to be adopted more and more. It's what helps teams, players build competitive edge, understand how to play, how to build the tactics, but it's also a really important narrative in the broadcast because it gives reporters an opportunity to explain the game in a different way and actually, with that, engage fans differently. For us at Sportradar, there's 3 types of data effectively. One thing is the event data, so it's all about what's happening in the game, and there's so much of it, especially when you start using technology to collect it. Then there's, of course, a lot of activities going on the betting side, on the fan side, and we are also collecting all of this data. And all of this is creating a massive pool of data and information that helps us build products and services for fans at the end of the line, right? They are more personalized, they are more interesting, they are more immersive, and that's what it's all about. This has really, really went far ahead, and today's presentation will be about how this data is helping create those experiences. There's 3 things that I believe drive this change today from the fan perspective and from the user or customer perspective. One thing is the generation shift. So I think it's no surprise to everyone that everything is becoming more short. People have shorter attention span. They want to be engaged faster. You don't have a lot of time to engage them. It doesn't mean that they will leave faster, but you have a very short window to engage them and to attract them and glue them to your content. On the other hand, hyper-personalization, it's really important. So one size fits all doesn't work anymore. Every fan will want personal experience, and that spans across a lot of things. Not just what they see and what they view from the game and how the game is presented to them. Even when it comes to advertising, when it comes to a lot of things, they will want to have things that are more tailored to them. And finally, technology. I think this is one of the most important things that drives this change. 10 years or 15 years ago, it was almost impossible to do things that you can do today. And what technology enabled in terms of data is what really helps us build all of this experience. And it's also not just that it helps us, actually it pushes us as well, because it's here, it's not going away, and so we need to work with it. Now, for us, AI plays really an important role in how we redefine or reimagine fan engagement. We use it on multiple levels. We use it in how we understand the game, and then do automated production. As you can see in the video above, where we are using a lot of tracking information from basketball to understand where the activity is happening and actually enable automated production solutions that create a very good quality broadcast for any league, right? So it doesn't mean this is now reserved only to the top of the class. Actually, it brings this opportunity to everyone. And it's the technology that enables this, completely automated. And on the other hand, computer vision as a data tracking solution enables us to understand and see so much more in a game, right? If originally, traditionally, we would only be able to see basic information, we are now able to understand how the players move around, what shots they take, how fast they run, how quickly they react to the opponent, and so on. And actually, it allows us, or it gives us, sometimes 100 times or 1,000 times more data than normally, which helps us build a lot of really interesting solutions. What it creates more stickiness, it creates new types of stories, it creates new forms of engagement, it creates hyper-personalized content, because now we understand how things are moving around, we can tailor it to the user, and actually it also creates a lot of new analytics which helps teams and leagues. Now I want to go to a specific case, and that's also what you can actually see at our booth, so you're welcome to join us later there to see it in person. So what do we have? That's actually a really nice photo from here, so taken yesterday. So we took table tennis as an example, and later on there's a lot more to come, of course. But table tennis was really interesting for us for a couple of reasons. It was extremely popular from the betting perspective. We had a lot of events, so there was actually a lot of things going on. It's a very fast-paced sport, so it's very interesting to actually engage, because things happen really quickly, and you can, with the right engagement, with the right products, you can engage fans a lot deeper. But yeah, there's a problem. It's a very fast-paced sport, and actually, if you don't use technology, you are pretty limited. So we saw the opportunity of bringing technology on top of it, and actually helping us reimagine how it looks to the fans. So what did we do? We actually equipped the table, as we said, with AI, and that allowed us to all of a sudden see things from a completely different perspective. And that's what you can also come and see it live actually here. So we equipped the table with a pretty powerful camera that captures 120 frames per second. For a sport like this, it's important mostly because of the ball, which is really fast in this case. And that turned every frame into an enormously powerful asset, because all of a sudden we could capture thousands of data points in one game. And that enables new types of experience. And all of a sudden, something that looks like a table with two players becomes so powerful. What does that mean for us? So we go from very basic picture to applying AI, where we see everything that's happening, players, ball, how they are moving, what they are doing, and that actually starts to create insight on top of it that you can see as a sort of final mixed reality layer. So what's the outcome of this? For one, we are able to augment, and every actually example, I'll have a video to show a little bit how it looks in practice. So we have an opportunity to augment live stream. So something that looks pretty basic originally, we now have a lot of information, and in real time we can start augmenting this information. So we are starting to overlay it with statistics in real time, how the ball bounces, where the players are positioned, and a lot of other interesting information. And it also opens up opportunities for virtual advertising, because all of a sudden, everything that we see, we understand where it is. And so we are able to use this information to put things into that space. And an example of this, and we would need audio here, but I don't think audio works. But anyways, it's just music, so So that was an example of how you can augment the streams. I'm sorry that the music doesn't work, but maybe for next video we can get the music to work. There's another one. It just is nicer with music. The next thing is that, okay, we can enhance the streams. Looks nice, right? But that's just one side of the story. How can we get fans more engaged? How can we create additional engagement? And I said that table tennis is an extremely fast-paced sport, which is really interesting. And so there's a lot of opportunities on the sports betting side. And deeper data in table tennis actually allowed us to create those experiences where now the punters are not just engaged through bets on the final outcome, but actually every rally becomes an interesting game. So it's what we call micro-betting experiences, and these become really, really micro events. At the same time, this technology also allowed us to increase the speed at which we deliver score to our customers, which is really important because technology does not get tired, does not have reaction time like humans would, right? So we are able to detect things a lot faster, and because we have so much more information, we can interpret it and we can deliver scores faster. And so on the example of micro betting, probably the sound still doesn't work, but sorry for that, guys, but oh, there we go. Okay, and not everything is about streaming, a lot is, but, and so we have a lot of new opportunities on the streaming side. We have interesting new opportunities in micro betting, but it also allows us to make the very, let's say, simple visualizations a lot nicer. So something that in the past would look pretty static with, not a lot of action, even those visualizations can become a lot nicer. So it does actually offer us a lot of opportunities to use this deep data and create new and nicer experiences for different fans that engage with this sport. And finally, last but not least, of course, fuels also a lot of coaching opportunities. Coaching solutions can feed this data and helps players to understand why they have an edge and why they played better or how they can improve. And because we are able to track player performance on a really, really detailed level, it allows us to understand better the patterns of play. It helps us understand if there is potential changes in terms of how they play, and so that can also in turn help us to make sport safer for all the involved stakeholders. And I mentioned that, of course, for us at Sportradar, this was just an interesting case to start, but the question is where we go from here. And actually, it's really exciting that we are now taking this further, and we are taking it to some top-level sports. And here you can see how this technology is now transformed also into broadcasting and streaming for tennis, where we are using the same approaches in understanding what's happening in the game, having all the tracking information, and actually overlaying it to create a more interesting and engaging stream live, real-time, for the fans, for the punters, to stay on the game longer and to just be entertained on a whole new level. Good. And with that, that's all from my side. Thank you for your attention and listening, and that's it.
Thank you, Luka. Okay, I think we can sit down if you like. But I have somebody it's a spoiler. They know each other. Tom Ryan
Yep.
from NBA. Happy to have you here.
Good job.
Please sit down. I think you can still hear us. Just a quick information. We might get some more headphones here, but I think the boxes are loud enough. And we try to talk loud and clear, of course. So, Luka, there were so many interesting things in your presentation. The deep data you showed us, and you asked, what does this brand new world mean for us? What does it mean for fans, for athletes, for teams? What would you say?
I mean, I mentioned a little bit in the presentation. I think it's just about that everyone understands that it's so much information that's available there to just understand the game better. I think for fans, it's how they are engaged on a whole new level. It allows to build these hyper-personalized experiences. It delivers a story that's a bit different to a regular story, and we've seen this in many sports where they've sort of taken the lead, and I think NBA as well, and I know Tom will say something about this, but there's a lot of things going in that direction where fans want to be engaged on a different level, and we need to deliver experiences and information that helps catch the attention, because they don't wait for too long. And we see that it's difficult to keep them for the whole duration of the game if you don't give them something extra on top. And this deep data definitely allows that, and it opens up so many opportunities for new products when it goes on those micro levels. And then it's virtual advertising, augmented streaming, micro betting as mentioned. So this is the direction where the fan engagement is going, and deep data definitely allows us to go there.
Yeah, I'm still thrilled of the table tennis pictures I saw there. You talked about tennis, but also basketball, NBA is a huge focus for Sportradar. Tom, what can you tell us about this collaboration? What have you already achieved with Sportradar?
Yeah, sure. So I started with the NBA in 2015, and we kicked off our partnership, our first phase of our partnership with Sportradar in 2016. So my entire NBA existence has been very familiar with Sportradar. I would say the first phase of our partnership was really about data distribution, a lot more about sports betting, and it went extremely well. Phase two, which we signed in 2021, was really taking it to a new level. So it was kind of broken up into two pieces. The one was on a lot of the stuff that Luka was just hitting on with enriching the fan experience, and not just data distribution, but also taking that data, creating insight, and being able to integrate that into different products on the media side, on the betting side. So that's kind of one big phase of work, which we're really excited about. We're starting to launch products right now as part of that. And then the other part of it, which is what I really lead, is on the basketball side. So Sportradar obviously owns basketball analytics properties that we are very familiar with. We've been working with for a decade plus in synergy. So the other phase of our partnership, the other part of our partnership, was really being able to build more insight for our coaches, our players, our broadcasters about the actual game. So being able to take tracking data, skeletal tracking data, being able to create insight, being able to take those old stats and event level data we've had and really make it take it to the next level. So we're really excited about it, and I think it's just the beginning.
Yeah, you mentioned, right, because fan experience is one side, but how can, for example, coaches use deep data to evolve the game, to make their team better?
Yeah, so it's the NBA has really been focused on data, insight, tracking data for 10 plus years. I would say at the start it was really about player evaluation. So it was our front offices really kind of looking at the data, being able to make roster decisions, being able to decide on contracts. The kind of second phase of that was really about coaching tactics and in-game strategy. So I would say over the last maybe 7+ years, it really became like, okay, how can I get an advantage within the game? And now that we have skeletal tracking data, 3D ball data, it's also going to the next level on the player health and performance side. So all those other things are still being done to a new kind of degree and with a lot more precision. But now we're being able to get that tracking data and keep players on the court for longer, extend their careers. So we're really excited. It kind of hits all levels of the basketball side, from front office down to the coaches, and then also at the league level, I should hit on. We have a ton of league level initiatives, which is where I work, taking that tracking data, being able to improve our schedule, being able to change rules, being able to see the intensity of the game, trends in the game. There's just a lot of stuff that we're doing with data, and we're working with Sportradar on a lot of that.
I just realized I will be in trouble if my not NBA basketball coach here in Germany knows deep data about me as a player. But yeah, maybe I have to quit this sport. There's another thing, NBA Launchpad program, a great initiative. What can you tell us about it?
Yeah, sure. We've historically worked with the startup ecosystem pretty extensively. And about 3 years ago, we launched a new program to do it in a more structured way. So NBA Launchpad, we first rolled out in 2021 and 2022. This is our third iteration of it. And essentially, you can think of it as kind of at the top level, we work with big technology partners like Sportradar. We have deep partnerships, long-term deals. Those are kind of like the known players that we're always going to work with and continue to innovate with. On the other side of the ecosystem are kind of seed stage companies, Series A companies that it's kind of harder to get started with a big organization like the NBA. So we created this platform to be able to evaluate them, create R&D projects that are about 6 months, really structured, and then being able to decide, do we want to deepen that relationship? Do we want to make an investment in the company? So we've had about 17 companies come through, a lot of European companies, a couple that I think are here. It's a global program. We're really excited about it, and I think we've also worked with Sportradar in several ways, both on the diligence side. So company comes in, we want to know what they think of them, if it even touches sports betting, right? Or if it's on the on-court analytics side. So we work with them. They were deeply involved in our micro betting one last year, as Luka was just talking about. Being able to just see new products and maybe if there's an interesting company there, it could be an acquisition target. So there's a lot of ways that we're really using Launchpad to build out the ecosystem.
Thank you so far, Tom. Luka, there's one thing that you have to explain to me. You lead a team called Automated Content. I assume automation and computer vision is one of the key areas of interest. Why is it so critical for Sportradar, and what about it excites you the most?
Yeah, I think it relates a bit back to how I started my presentation. I think it's at one point you realize that you need to actually, in order to get where the current demand is from the fan perspective or from the coaches or for the teams, you need a lot of data for that, right? And at that point you realize, and the moments are shrinking, right? You are getting shorter attention span, more micro, and at one point there's no way to go there unless you have some really advanced technology. Okay. And so at that point it does become a lot about automation, because it's the additional layer that we need to build, right? You need that 100 times more data to build those experiences. We are currently also working actually very closely with NBA on virtualization products, which again take a lot of data, skeletal information that has to be collected via means of technology to create virtual experiences, right? And that allow fans to immerse themselves into this. To create these immersive experiences and worlds, you just need automation. That's the only path forward, and it does kind of excite me when I see then the things that we worked for hard for a longer time actually turn into something really tangible, and we are there now. And so that's what excites me really, and why automation is absolutely the path forward to build those experiences.
Thank you very much, Tom. Thank you, Luka. We already saw the picture of the table tennis played. I think it's over here.
It's over there, yeah.
And also, what else do we have? We have the NBA showcases.
Yes.
So a live match tracker. So if you want to learn, to see, to hear more about this, then over there is plenty of room, and I hope you have plenty of time to dive deeper in it. For the moment, I say thank you, Tom. Thank you, Luka. Thank you for your attention.